Good evening, good salutations. Hi everybody, totally amazing here. And you see what I have behind me. £5, Technika 32-inch TV, or rather multifunctional visual display unit. It's broken. This is how it ended up on my workbench. This is why. Okay. Right. Straight up, £5 purchased. Okay. Not done anything with this yet. I've only just removed the elastic band because I've had a couple of beers and I thought I was going to make this video and we're going to talk about this. So, why is it on my bench? How did it get here? Well, let's have a look. Problem. Here it is. It says it's faulty. Doesn't power on. So, faulty TV. Well, MFVDU, multifunction video visual display unit. It's not TV because I can use that for a monitor. I could use it for an extension of an oscilloscope. I can use it as a photo frame. It has USB connections on it. Not just a TV. But it's faulty. Now that £5, that's what I paid for it, which actually is about as much as one of these in a pub and a cheap £1 burger. So these two would be about the same cost of that. Let's just get rid of that for the time being. Let's not get rid of that the same way. So how? Why? What's it doing here? And can I fix it? Right. How? Well, it says it doesn't turn on. Why is it here? Well, first of all, let's just get to it. It's manufactured by Technika. Well, not manufactured, it's only assembled. I could prove that to you. What it says actually on the back. I'll have to probably zoom into that. But it does clearly say on the back, anyway, right here, assembled for Tesco Stores Limited. Now, who are Tesco's? Well, Tesco Stores, they're basically a multinational supermarket chain. Here in the UK and elsewhere in the world, they actually sell electronic items like this. They sell food, like the burger I launched over there, and other things along with it. Now, Technika, these guys just essentially assemble these things, and here's how it's done. Right. They don't manufacture these in one central location and then ship them to the stores. No. They get them in various different parts. This is not out of one of these units. This is out of something separate. They would essentially have a power supply board from one place. It would have, if it was an LCD TV, it would have the LCD drivers from another place and the motherboard from another place. The screen would then be shipped from elsewhere. Why? Well, I'll show you the why using the power of beer. Let's get rid of the beer and show you how. And it's purely a cost-saving exercise because I can take these boards, put them into a box like so, without lids, and I can get maybe about 10 or 15 of those boards in there. So you imagine trucking a whole pallet of those boards to one location. So that's one box. Trucking a whole load of those to the assembly location. And power board to the same location. You get where I'm going with this. It's a cost-saving exercise. That's exactly what it is. So Technika, they essentially just come along and assemble everything in one location. And they would then subsequently sell it on, or wholesale it off to where it's got to go. And that would be to the end user, like you and me. Well, maybe you, not me. So cash converters, who are these guys? Well, these guys are pretty cool, and essentially cash converters, when you don't want your unit anymore, when you no longer want this, you would take it to them and sell it as second hand. Maybe you want to get a loan on it, or maybe you just want to sell it outright, and it ends up there. Now, somewhere in between, it kind of gets a bit broken. And here's the receipt for this unit. So it gets broken. There's the receipt to say that it's paid for as faulty. And here's where it ends up once it's broken, because if I was going to pay for that as second hand, well, I mean, brand new for these, you're looking northwards of around £100, £150, probably more. Well, second hand cost, you're probably looking around £70. So, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, £70. That would be a second hand cost. Well, I only paid £5 for that, so we can just get rid of all of that. Put that to one side. So that's all I paid for it. So why is it here? Well, it's broken, and I bet you, by the end of this video, I bet you that money that I have it fixed. Now, I've not already done anything with this. I've not powered it up in any way. And, well, I've only loosened the elastic band on that, and there's the plug still intact. So all we need to do is just essentially, it's me just throwing £70 around. It's just dropped all over the floor. I stupidly put that in my tool drawer, which I really shouldn't do, so let's just launch that over there. So I'll have to go down the bank tomorrow and pay that in. So all we need to do is, well, we have a fuse here. Now, yes, okay, they would have checked this anyway, because that would just be a huge fail if they didn't. So all we need to do, take a continuity tester, this, press these together. Yeah, well, that's fine. So we'll just test this fuse. And that beeps, so that's fine. Now I already have an idea what's wrong with this, the TV, or the MFVDU, multifunctional visual display unit, because we should stop calling them televisions, because if you don't use them to watch broadcasted material, it's no longer a TV. Now, problem, as you can see, is there. You see that? That button's missing. I have a solution for that, and I'm going to show you how that works. That's called, I'm going to plug this in to a main supply, and straight away you can see a red light there, and that seems to be powered on. And I'm going to turn this edge on so you can see that. Now I could theoretically shove my finger in there, but I'll take a screwdriver, or well, that's a VDU insulated one. Not that it really matters, because there's no high voltage where I'm touching that. So I'm just going to poke that, and let's see what happens. Oh, well, I now have a blue light. That's gone blue, as you can sort of see. Oh, what's that? Oh, that looks like it's powered on to me, doesn't it? There we are. So, well, I would argue that looks to me, oh, there we are, component, yeah, it looks like it's powered on. So that's how that is. So there we go. I think that's powered on. Looks pretty good. So why £5 when it's like that? Well, the reason is fairly simple. It's because of this thing, thankfully, called the Sales of Goods Act here in the UK, meaning if that requires someone to shove their fingers inside, well, there's always a risk of injury or damaging the equipment or hurting oneself or whatever. And unfortunately, that's why they couldn't turn it on. I'm pretty sure we could find some way of adapting a kind of universal remote to essentially turn that on and off. As long as there's a power light there, I'm sure we're fine. Now, what's interesting about this is it's an LED TV. Well, it says it's a TV. It's actually not. As I said, it's a multifunctional visual display unit. What is unfortunate is the fact now that I don't really need to strip this down, although at some point I will, and I do actually have another idea. Since it only cost me £5, I'm going to modify that into actually a computer with a Asus Tinkerboard. That's one option I have. And, essentially that is a computer with a quad-core processor, 2 gig of RAM, Bluetooth enabled, gigabit Ethernet. And, essentially what this is, it's a small developer's board like that. Let's just pull this thing out. And that's it. So what we're probably going to do, pardon my language, is we're going to bastardise that TV, or a multifunctional visual display unit. It's no longer going to be a TV because we're going to embed that into there, and then we can do all sorts of programming and all sorts of other fandango. Now, anyway, it doesn't really matter whether it's marketed as a TV. In my mind, and I'm sure in your mind, it's not just a TV anyway. It's no more a telly than your mobile phone is a mobile phone, because who nowadays uses mobile phones specifically for just calling when you have things like Facebook and Instant Messenger and things like that, and Twitter. Now, also, just on this side, further to prove my point, there we go, look at the interfaces on that. So we have USB, well, we have actually 3 USB connectors on there, and various other inputs too, 3 HDMIs, and yeah, not too bad. And the only other problem we have is that base at the bottom, which seems to be a little bit loose. Oh god, the thing weighs an absolute ton. Which yet again further proves the point of why they don't actually manufacture these in one location elsewhere in the world and then truck them over, with the exception of people like Samsung, which is why their units and devices cost so much. These would be, as we already said, would arrive in various packages and boxes, shipped to one location, much like what they do with cars and aircraft, and essentially then pre-built and then assembled in that location. So this is why it's on my bench, and yeah, I'm probably going to keep this, I would have thought. This is no signal. Well, of course not, because I don't bother with TV. I don't know where I don't even know where the menu functions are on this. I've not actually dealt with this particular model before, but it all seems to certainly work. There we are. I think as the design goes on it, with the problems that it has, I think their design needs a little work. Oh dear. Yeah, see, we've got USB media, so we could have it as a photo frame if we want, or we could watch any sort of videos, video nasties on there. 3 HDMIs, PC input component, whatever that's for. And then we have SCART, analog, Well, because I'm sure there are places in the world that use analog, and then of course there's the free view function. If you watch televised things, which we don't, because yeah, well, there's reasons why I don't. Ah, there we are. There we go. See? That, to me, looks like that powers up. So, as far as that goes, where it says doesn't turn on, I would say that pretty much does. Now, there's no sort of hint of any burning smell in there, I don't think. Oh, doesn't smell of anything. No burning smell. And, well, if it did have, I probably wouldn't have bought it, because that would be indicative of more serious power supply faults. I mean, just as a side note, when these things tend to go wrong, this is out of another old TV. It's generally then that go, or sometimes rectifiers that will go, sometimes any one of these transformers, but that's not out of here, obviously, that's out of something entirely different. So anyway, that's pretty much that. As boring as this has been, I would have much rather have torn this open and shown you the guts of it, but at the moment I don't really need to. The only thing I need to do now is get off out of here and upload this while I'm going over the pub, and well, we'll just have to catch you later. So yeah, this is the whole kind of deal about a 32-inch so-called TV was broken. This is how it ended up on my bench. Well, there you are. Apparently, it doesn't turn on. Well, I would kind of say, that looks pretty on to me. There we are. There we go. So, that's solved. There's the receipt for it. There we go. Says it doesn't turn on. Well, total cost of that, meaning I've saved myself all of that. So, I mean, I could even sell that and get that for it. So, definitely a trip to the bank. Well, via the bar tonight. So, anyway, there we are, people. Out. That says no signal, and now there's no more signal. So, this has been totally amazing. Yours truly, the home of scientific knowledge and discovery. This is the 1st of January 2K19, and with this, I guess it means time to power off. Bye.